Hello. Thank you for joining us here on another adventure in real estate. Today we have Betty Kingery. Betty is the broker at Mountain to Lake Realty. Betty, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you, Betty. From the standpoint, you're the broker, so you're the boss there at Mountain to Lake Realty. Tell us how did you end up? How long have you been the broker there at Mountain to Lake?
Oh wow, for a little while, for about 15 years actually. That's been 15 quick years, but of course I'm old, and so that's why time flies. The older we get, really, our days are shorter. We're adding on the days. So we were Meadow Spring Land and Realty, and for Wes Naff was the broker.
Okay.
And I don't know when that. I know that Wes started Meadow Springs soon out of college. He was with, of course, you as a broker, you must serve as a realtor, or in our case, of course, we are realtors because we're part of the National Association of Realtors. So we could be just real estate agents, but the fact is you must be a real estate agent for at least 3 years, have some experience before you take your classes and take the little test and become a broker. So I know that he was a realtor under someone else for a little while, and then he opened his own company in Rocky Mount, and he called it Meadow Spring Land and Realty. And in the 90s, the latter 80s, my husband Billy joined Meadow Spring, and that's where our real estate started.
Okay.
So then as technology, and I'm holding my phone because I think back to my beginnings, not in real estate, but in my college years in the 70s, how it took a computer the size of the football field that held less information than what I'm holding here right now. It's just incredible. Things have changed so much over the last few years. People have so much access to information. So that's a little bit off of being the broker. But anyway, back to Wes. He had a wonderful company, Meadow Spring Land and Realty. He decided that he would go another path, and he still is a broker, but I think he just was, and hopefully if he looks at this, he won't say what, but I think he was tired of managing people. Okay. So as a broker, yes, I have to look about your transactions, but each of you are self-employed, and so really I just have to look at everything that you're doing because I'm responsible for it in the long run. Okay. So as a broker of a company, yes, we're responsible for making sure you get trained and making sure you follow the code of ethics, since we are realtors, and to make sure that you do everything the way you're supposed to. Sure. And so, of course, what happens is the public, whoever you're working with, may not call you about something you did, but they might call me about it. And so we have to figure it out. So as a broker, it's a fun job, but it's definitely a job that a lot of responsibility.
Sure. So you mentioned a little bit about the history there in Meadow Spring with Wes Naff and moving along, and I know you've had lots of really good real estate agents, but today at Mountain to Lake, we got the Kingery team, of course, myself, Julie, and Billy, all involved there, but who else is there?
Well, there are 15 of us.
Okay.
And so we're a small independent firm, and I like it that way. We represent sellers and buyers in Franklin County and beyond. So and I think that's something with our agents, because we're more like a family perhaps. We can depend on each other. Yes, you guys are competitors with one another, and we can have words maybe, but we figure it out. And I think we learn from each other.
Sure.
And that's the neat part about when you're going through a transaction and through home inspections, etc. You have another head that you can talk to say, hey, have you ever had this happen to you? And we have a whole lot of experience there at Mountain to Lake, and we depend on that wisdom. Sure. that folks have from all of that experience. And I think that's really, really good that we have that. So, as I say, we're small. I look at too how things have changed just in the last 15 years in technology. And so we've gone from fax machines, we've gone from presenting offers to an individual to now there are transactions that are going on that perhaps that buyer has not even been to the property. They have used you and a video that you've gone through the property.
Sure.
You've done an offer. We now have electronic signatures, so it's just kind of crazy. I think that some of the personal touch may be gone or may be disappearing, but a lot of folks don't care.
Right.
They seem okay with it.
Well, I will say, go back to your point about the Mountain to Lake family. I don't have the tenure that some of your real estate agents would have there at Mountain to Lake, but it is really nice. If you've got a question, someone else is there in the office, just pop over and ask them that question. There's a wealth of knowledge there, and they're willing to share. And that's made it a much more enjoyable experience for me. It's made life a lot easier for me.
I think that every day is different.
Sure.
You may, as you come along in your career, sometimes you think that you've gotten to the point that, I'm not going to say that you know it all, but you know a lot. And all of a sudden you realize, I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Right.
Because with every day there's something new to learn. There's a different twist, but thankfully the experience that we have behind us helps you in making a decision or able to, be the source once again for your client. And it's you can tell them good information and be the good source for that client so that you can move forward.
Yeah. Help them make a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Betty, I always like to put people, throw them a curveball here, and this is a nice softball, so we're going to lay it out there. But Mountain to Lake Realty, you're the broker. Is there anything that you'd like for anyone watching out there to know about Mountain to Lake Realty, or anything you want to share that we haven't touched on?
Well, I think we're a great brokerage, great individuals that are part of our firm. You can call them and ask them questions and rely on them for any of your real estate needs.
Okay. Well, that being said, asking questions, I would just encourage any of you guys that are out there watching, if you've got questions, comments, we'd certainly welcome them on any of our social media avenues. You just reach out, share that. We'd certainly appreciate it. We'll get back to you. And you never know, one of your questions might end up here on An Adventure in Real Estate. We're going to let that finish up here today. Thank you, Betty, for joining us.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time on another adventure in real estate.